Hey guys and girls, welcome to New Zealand's biggest gap year. It's an epic challenge that my partner Laura and I decided to tackle a couple of years ago. The challenge? 365 activities in New Zealand in 365 days. Today we are in Westport and we're going to be doing surfing. It's probably the closest surf session we'll ever do to the Antarctica. Actually, it's pretty cold, but we're gonna have a blast. And join me at the end of the video when I'm gonna go over the comments you had the first time we published it. See you then. Today is the day. The weather is good enough and the forecast for the waves is good enough, so we are on our way surfing. We are joining Steve and the team. There is heaps of people that work at the hostel. There is also some guests. We all grabbed surfboard, wetsuits, and we're heading to the beach. Today is surfing day.
We squeeze into our wetsuits and booties because, as I mentioned before, this is probably the closest to Antarctica that we will ever surf. So the water's going to be a little bit chilly. But it's just going to wake us up a little bit faster. So first up on the surfboard is Robin.
So after listening to Tom on the beach for about half an hour, giving us all the basically technical knowledge, it's time to put all of it in practice, and Steve is taking me to the wave, and it's kind of a one-on-one lesson right here. He's really teaching me how the wave behave and how I should maneuver myself there. He's also holding the board when I jump on it and kind of launch me onto the waves. It takes me a couple of tries until I first stand on the board. I really don't last much long, but the feeling when I'm on the board and I start gliding over the wave, it's absolutely brilliant. And that gives me a boost of adrenaline that I really want to get on that board and stand for a while. So sometimes we do a few races to kind of motivate each other and try to stand longer on the board. It's really cool and it really motivates. It works so well. I am finally gliding on the wave. I feel like a Rib Curl sponsored surfer. I mean, not that much because there's not much of a wave, but man, I feel great. In between each of my attempts, Steve is giving me more tips and he's also giving me some few challenges to help me kind of progress. So for instance, he's gonna ask me to switch side by jumping on the board. So I'm gonna try that one right now. 3, 2, 1, go. Oh shit, just fucked it up.
The really cool thing about Basel Surf School is that although we've got quite a big group of us today, we actually split off into separate groups so that we can get some lessons more on our abilities and really get like a one-on-one lesson. Depending on the surf conditions, they usually do the lessons at Basel Surf School on different beaches around Westport. So everyone gets a chance to have fun and you don't have too big of a wave or too small of a wave. It's good for all abilities. We're surfing at North Beach, which is at the estuary of the Buller River, and what's really cool about this beach is the views we're actually getting as we're surfing. So we can see this beach absolutely covered in driftwood, and then in the distance are the views of the mountains.
The thing that I really love about surfing is that's a massive challenge to yourself. It takes a lot of energy. It's really exhausting to swim back toward the waves before getting a chance to surf again. So for those small few seconds that you get to surf, you really want to make the most of it. So you try so hard to stand on that board and to actually glide on the waves, but it's really tough. We are lucky though because we are using beginner's boards which are really big and wide, so it gives us a bit more of a chance to stand on them because they're a little bit more stable.
I can't believe how much Robin is killing it on the waves this afternoon. He is standing up all the time, and once it gets to my turn, I have some pretty big shoes to fill. So I start off with good intentions, you know, trying to catch a wave, but for some reason, I just cannot catch any of these waves today. I am failing again and again and again.
It looks like Laura is having a real hard time, and at some point, because she takes my board, so she has the camera in front of her, she actually tells me that the reason why she cannot stand to the board is because I gave her the board wet. So you guys make of that whatever you will, but I think she's just a sore loser for today and she's just not the best surfer of us both.
Nevertheless, I'm still having a lot of fun just splishing and splashing in the water, but this makes me even more motivated to keep on trying, and I'm getting loads of tips from Steve and Tom, which is really helping me improve, and I'm starting to get a hang of it. Maybe not, but I'm trying.
I can see in the corner of my eye that Laura is really struggling to stand on the board, but I can see her being super resilient, and this is the key in succeeding at surfing. So Steve and Tom is giving her a lot of tips, like really heaps of them, and she's trying different techniques, and every single time she tries she gets a little closer to standing up.
So I keep on trying and I keep on trying, and everyone around me is being super motivational, so I'm getting back on the board, hitting one last wave. Come on, this is it. I have to do it. And finally, the glorious moment happens. I'm just gliding along this tiny wave. I don't even care if I fall over now because I've finally done it.
I have to say that surfing is a lot of exercise, so we worked out a massive appetite. So the whole team is heading back toward the Basil hostels where we are staying tonight, and we are making ourselves a quick snack before hitting the road this evening. But this evening we're not hitting the road to a different destination, we are joining the crew from a company called Kiwi Experience for a bonfire. We've been invited by them to go grill some marshmallows on the beach, and honestly, there is absolutely no good reason in the world to say no to that. So we hop on the bus. It's a very short drive toward the beach, but this gives us the time to chat with our fellow bus goers because, well, we haven't really been in the bus for the whole time that we've been doing on this trip, so it's pretty cool to be with a massive crowd and get people from all over the world.
We get to North Beach and we put that driftwood to work. We are making a massive bonfire on the beach, all getting around in a big circle and grilling marshmallows and drinking beers and hanging out with a whole new bunch of people that we just met in the hostel about 30 minutes ago. But it's a really awesome way to socialize and stargaze, chat, hang out. And it's an awesome way to end our time in Westport. Tomorrow we are leaving Westport, which will be obviously very sad, but we are going up to the wonderful but very unknown town of Karamea, where it's also the nearest town to the start of the Heafy track. There's also a massive waterfall we want to check out tomorrow, so join us then.
Alright guys, so as you saw we had a long day, but we had a good day. It was really fun to both do the bonfire with the group of people that we met, as well as doing surfing, but definitely we are ready for a good rest. So the first time we published the video, we had a couple of comments from you guys, and the first comment that we had was from Why in the World, and he's making a joke about Laura getting the board wet from me and said I should have kept the board dry for her, which obviously is what I should have done. So he says that he's hoping to go surfing this summer because one of his co-workers invited him to go surf with him. So that's going to be a blast. Surfing in New Zealand is really a lot of fun. We also had a comment from Alistair that said that it would be a little too cold for him. And yeah, that's why you have the wetsuit. Honestly, after a couple of minutes with the wetsuit and moving as much as you move, honestly, you are not cold at all. But if we didn't have the wetsuit, obviously it would be absolutely freezing. But there is some other locations to surf in New Zealand. You can do some surfing on the North Island and it's a little bit warmer, but no matter what, I don't think there is any locations in New Zealand where you will be surfing without the wetsuit. So you will have a similar experience a little bit everywhere, but the Westport experience is it's a lot of fun, and the beach is actually quite easy for people to get started, so that's pretty good. Anyway, that's all the comments that we got for today. If you want to pick Laura and I's brain 24/7, you head to nzpocketguide.com, the largest travel guide to New Zealand, and it's free to use. You can also join us during one of our live sessions. It's on Sunday at 8 AM New Zealand time, and we are live for an hour. We're sitting on that couch over there and answer all your questions, so join us live. It's really cool. You just type your questions in the live chat, or you can comment, like, and subscribe. It's all great free ways to say thank you for all our hard work. In the meantime, please stay awesome. Please stay a phenomenal audience, and we'll see you on the next video. Bye bye.